garage sale. On the garage sale. Find somewhere to pull. Yard sale time. Gotta go before everybody gets the good stuff. What? Is that Mr. Ajax himself? What up, AJ? I didn't know you were having a yard sale today.
Yes, sir.
What are we doing today, man?
Brakes.
Brakes. So we got G-Loc pads, yes, right? And since the last time I saw you, I think you guys, you and Sergio were installing a sway bar, right?
Yeah, we did the front.
I think as you guys saw, they didn't quite finish the job, but it's all right. We're going to get some new bushings to make that all work. And we'll get that in there. We'll show you guys that video coming soon. Oh, look at him repping right there, making some jam for the guys over there. So we got everything pretty much ready. We got some ATE fluid. Are we gonna be bleeding the brakes? What are we doing? We're
doing a whole OEM BBK. Well, it's a factory. It's from the E46. The fronts are from the 330. The rears are from a 325/8. The front rotors are just the same size as the E46 M3. They're just a little bit thinner, and the rears are vented and they're bigger as well. The fronts are going to be 12.7 inches and the rears 11.5 inches.
You were just reading that off the script. We got G-Loc pads right here. If you guys haven't heard of them, you better ask somebody. These are the R6 compound. There's a part number for those of you that want to go ahead and try to do this big brake upgrade. So we're gonna get the car in the air, and this is usually where that sped up video is of us time-lapsing it. So we're gonna get the car up and get started, man.
When I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I run for the bus stand. But while riding, I think of a scene.
So since the last time we saw the car, there was a couple upgrades done to it. I see something shiny under this cowl here. So what have you done to it since last time, AJ?
Upgraded the cooling system.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Went with a Koyo radiator.
Okay.
Went with HPS silicone hoses.
I think you can see them a little bit better.
Up here.
Ah, there they are.
M50 aluminum thermostat housing.
So it's the metal housing instead of the plastic OEM stock housing that can crack and get brittle.
Yes, but that's only on the M52s, I believe. The M50s came with that. Okay. I think. I don't know. I found it at the junkyard. It was $4.
Sounds good. All right.
New thermostat, and then I did the.
Sounds like a cheap upgrade, right?
Very cheap. And then I did the what is it? The Stewart EMP high flow water pump.
And that's also with the metal.
Yes.
Parts,
it's a metal
right? Compared to the plastic OEM stuff.
Yeah, but mine actually came with a metal impeller already. I don't know if somebody replaced it in its past life, but.
I wonder if it was the same guy that put thread locker on all the suspension bolts.
I doubt it, because there wasn't thread locker on anything in here.
On that in there? Alright, cool. So somebody got smart. And then what else have we done since the last time I saw the car? I know you guys were working on the sway bar last time, and you guys saw that in the previous video to this build. What else have you done? That's pretty much it?
That's it.
That's it? That's it?
That's it.
That's it, man?
Brakes.
Oh, man.
Everything's getting replaced besides the pads.
Oh,
and
okay.
the shoes. And the inside.
So this is not like the P11 upgrade where we just do the carrier bracket with the spec V rotor and the stock caliper. Okay.
Whole new caliper, whole new carrier bracket, new rotor, same pads.
All right.
Only in the rear.
Oh, okay. And in the front.
New carrier bracket, new caliper, new rotor, and the G-Locs.
Y todo. All right. Sounds good. All right, let's get started. The rear's off. We didn't take the caliper off quite yet because we're not going to bleed brakes yet, but just to show you a little bit of the differences of the brake kits, you can tell that's the front and And that's the rear. AJ, what are the size differences, man?
The E36 is 11.2 inch.
Right?
And the E46 is 12.7 inch.
That's a massive, massive rotor. And it looks like the E46 one is also a little bit thicker, right?
Yes.
And probably a little bit better for you to do your curls and yoke up.
Yes.
All right, cool.
For the gains.
So do it for the gains, man. You gotta stay woke. So in the rear, what's the size difference of the rear one?
It's not much. It's only half an inch. So we went from 11 to 11 and a half, but it's vented.
So the main advantage is heat dissipation by venting instead of just using a standard slotted rotor, right? To let gases escape of the braking.
Yes,
and again, gains, right? Gains, you gotta get them bicep gains up. So we're gonna continue on. We're going to be doing something. The front, I see you have a grinder out. What are we doing with that, bro?
We're cutting off the front dust shield. I have hard motorsport brake ducts that are be going in at a later date, but the backing plate for the tube just needs to go.
Okay, so it needs to go.
So,
does that need to go for the guys that are not going to run brake ducts? Does that need to go?
No, just leave that alone if you're not running brake ducts.
There you go. That's the answer. So we're going to go ahead and cut that out and get it going. So we're done cutting it in half for AJ to just go ahead and pry it off. One of the best things to do probably here, AJ, is probably remove the
ABS sensor.
That's right. So remove the ABS sensor.
And
So
clean it up when you're there.
Clean it up while you're in there. That way it doesn't snag on the actual heat shield when you try to spin it and split it apart. But as you can see, those curls of those new beefy rotors have given AJ the strength to remove this thing with no issue. Here's the rear caliper for the E46 compared to the rear caliper of the E36. Really, one of the main noticeable differences, it looks like the same caliper, uses the same pad, but AJ, the carrier bracket on this E46 one looks longer, and I think that's just to accept the larger rotor, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you're gonna give me? Just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm assuming so.
It looks like the exact same caliper. It's just because it uses all the same hardware too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just looks like it's the different carrier bracket, and that's what makes the rotor fit. Cool. So when you buy new rotors, you want to clean them. Why, AJ?
Because they have oil to keep them from rusting.
There you go. So even though they're new, they do have a protective coating that they put on them, like AJ said, oil, just so to keep them from rusting when you get them. So
Make
you want
sure
to clean
you
all
do
that
the
off. Oh yeah, for the brake shoe.
Brake
That's
shoes
right.
too.
So definitely clean it as well as you can with some brake cleaner. Get all that fluid off of it so that you have a clean mating surface between your new pads or your old pads, whatever it may be, and your new brake job. So we're about to go ahead and install the pads. We're going to do an unboxing video since everybody loves an unboxing video. So box is pretty standard. These are the R6 compound. We could have gone higher, we could have gone lower, but the car's still more, a little bit street, a little bit of track, so a little bit of both. So go ahead and open the box. Bro.
Uncle Grandpa's mobile residence.
Retake.
No retakes, all one shot. So we're gonna see a bit of a size difference between this is the E46 and the E36. Of course, the more pad surface you have, the more stopping power you have, and that's definitely what we're going for. Definitely a good upgrade. Thanks to Danny over there at G-Loc. Here's their website right here. Hit them up for any of your brake pad needs. All right, AJ, so we have the brakes on already.
Yes, sir.
One thing that I do want to note is we did put a little anti-seize around the hub, just that if you ever have to replace the rotors on the front or the back, they'll come off a little easier. They won't be welded on there pretty much from the rust. And in the rear, we kept the dust shields. The E46 rotors clear the E36 dust shield, so that wasn't an issue. That'd be fine. And again, the front ones would fit, but because AJ is going to do brake ducting in the near future, he did bite this one off with the jaws of life. So we're gonna go ahead and bleed the system with our trusty tool here. One thing to note is, walk around and watch where you're stepping, but one thing to note is always have the correct tools for the job. This is the Motive Power Bleeder. I've used this for the last 6 or 7 years on my B13s, P11, P10, B14, all my Sentra and Nissan stuff. It's the same bleeder, just a different cap and attachment. This is AJ's, but this is specific for the Euro cars. Yeah. Because it's a screw type cap. But what we're doing is we pressurize the system, and to make sure we don't have any leaks, because we did have to take apart the calipers from the brake line that introduces air into the system. So I pressurized the system with some brake fluid in there. We're using, again, our favorite brake fluid, which is AT Type 200. So we're going to let that sit for about a good 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure that the pressure holds, and if the pressure holds, that means we have no leaks in the system. So we're done bleeding the whole system. Again, the bleeding procedure for this car is rear right, rear left, front right, front left. AG went ahead and took care of that. But if you like what we're doing, like and subscribe to our channel. Like our videos. If you hate them, let us know what you don't like. We can show a little bit more AG's face. If that's what you want to see, we'll do that. Everything is good. So AJ, tell us how much this brake upgrade cost, man.
All right, well, I got the calipers at the junkyard, so that was about $140 for all four. The rotors were about $150. Then I had to buy rebuild kits for the calipers, so it came out to about $150 for the calipers.
So about $300 in rotors, calipers, and a rebuild kit. You rebuilt it yourself.
Yes. It's just seals.
Yeah, it's not too hard.
Nothing serious.
Plus brake pads, you're looking at somewhere around $450,
about $450, $475, somewhere around in there. I haven't really sat down and done the math yet.
Cool. So for about $450, depending on what brake pads you choose, of course, you can go a little bit less. You can cheap out.
Same thing with rotors.
Same thing with rotors. You can cheap out, get something a little bit cheaper.
We went just with plain blanks. You could go Stop Tech, like that was on there before. With the slots, you could go DBA, whatever tickles your fancy.
Whatever tickles your pickle. Pickle Rick.
I'm a pickle. What do you think about that? I turned myself into a pickle. I'm Pickle Rick!
Anyway, so it just depends on how pricey you want to make it and how budget you want to keep it. And again, AG decided to spend a little bit more money on brake pads because the car's a little more track oriented. But those are just fine on some standard rotors. He might upgrade later. He is getting brake ducting, so he's going to be just fine. It's time to get it on the road and make sure everything's all right. Make sure nothing is doing anything it's not supposed to.
When I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I run for the bus stand. But while running
So the brakes are bedded in. We drove it quite a bit. Everything's good. What do you think, AJ? R6's G-Locs? Muy bueno.
Si, senor.
He likes them. I like some. And if you buy them, you'll like some. And like us. So like this video. Enjoy. See you next time. And will we have brake ducts next time?
Yes.
Brake ducts next time. Maybe some other goodies. Alright guys. Till next time.